high above the city of Mumbai, a billionaire stands in silence, overlooking a skyline built on centuries of trade. But behind the modern glass and steel lies a story that tears through time itself, a story that begins in the 1850s on the docks of old Bombay, where crates of opium shaped an empire. In the mid-19th century, Bombay was not yet the city we know today. It was a developing port, humid, crowded, and strategically priceless. And at its heart stood a trade that few spoke openly about, the trade of opium. Opium was more than a drug. It was a currency, a political tool, and one of the most profitable commodities in the world. British ships carried it across the sea, merchants negotiated in candlelit rooms, and entire economies quietly shifted around its movement. This system depended on silence. Crates were mislabeled, routes were hidden, and paperwork often disguised the truth. But for those involved, it brought wealth on a scale the region had never seen before. While Bombay expanded with every shipment, China, on the other side of the ocean, began to collapse under addiction. Two cities, two destinies, both tied together by one powerful substance. Before Bombay became Mumbai, before its financial districts and iconic skyline, it was a strategic coastal settlement, a natural harbor, a gateway to markets, and a perfect launch point for maritime trade. British interests quickly recognized its potential, turning the port into a central hub for the movement of goods across Asia. In the 1800s, opium became one of the most valuable exports, controlled by the East India Company. Produced primarily in regions like Malwa and Bengal, opium bricks were transported to Bombay, packaged in warehouses and shipped across the sea to China. The profits were immense, and they reshaped the future of the city. A number of merchant groups became central to this trade. They managed auctions, oversaw shipments, and maintained relationships with British administrators. Their influence grew rapidly. Wealth accumulated, and with wealth came power, in business, in infrastructure, and ultimately, in the identity of Bombay. But prosperity in one place came at a devastating cost in another. China faced an unprecedented addiction crisis. Communities fell apart. Families struggled to survive. The Chinese government attempted to stop the import, but the scale was too large, and British intervention too aggressive. Tensions escalated. China destroyed opium stockpiles. Britain retaliated. And two major conflicts, the Opium Wars, began. Though fought far from India, these wars were connected deeply to Bombay's port, which supplied much of the opium shipped to Canton. As profits poured in, Bombay expanded rapidly. New docks were constructed, warehouses grew in size, railways were established to support movement of goods. Insurance firms, banks, and trade houses soon followed. A city was being built, brick by brick, ledger by ledger. Though the opium trade eventually declined, its impact did not disappear. The wealth it generated helped fund institutions, industries, and the early infrastructure that would become the backbone of modern Mumbai. Today, its influence exists quietly, in buildings, in family legacies, and in the city's identity as an economic powerhouse. Often hidden beneath the progress of a city, Bombay's opium era is not a story of villains or heroes, but of trade, ambition, and consequence. Understanding it allows us to understand how cities grow, how economies shift, and how the past continues to whisper beneath the present. The Mumbai we know today stands tall and modern, but beneath the glass and steel lies a foundation built from stories that the world rarely acknowledges. This is one of them. A story shaped by oceans, by trade, and by the journeys of a single commodity that changed continents.